Getting everything all hooked up. We have some exciting things to talk about tonight. All right, I think we're live everywhere. Hey, Facebook and InstaFam. Hi, cousin. It's so good to see all y'all's faces. I wore my influential shirt because I wanted y'all to see it because I like it. You can see it now, so now I feel better. Hey, Haley. Haley. All right, I just want to give y'all a second to get in the room. Send this to your friends who you know need to be here because we are talking about dating in the midst of a freaking pandemic where y'all are in the house and still wanting to find a partner and find love and be connected. Hi, y'all. Still saying hello, giving you a reason to get your friends here. You know that one who needs to be here, who doesn't know what they're doing with dating. Send it to them. Tell them they got a few seconds left. All right, folks, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. I am Dr. Adrianne Pinkney. I'm the Integrative Wellness and Life Coach, and I support individuals and groups in getting their stuff together. And today we are going to talk about dating in a pandemic, which means y'all are dating online. So first of all, let me say, if you are single, you do not have, especially if you're over a certain age and you're a woman, you typically don't have a whole year just to say, okay, it's a pandemic, I guess I'm not going to meet anybody. Some of y'all want to be married, some of y'all want babies, and you have to be really intentional about finding your partner. So with that being said, that means we're changing how we date. Because here's the thing, girl, you're not going to meet him in church right now. Or fella, you ain't going to meet her in church right now. Y'all ain't going to church. Both of y'all are logging in online. Even if you see them at the grocery store, you can't see their face under that mask. And how you gonna holler at somebody when you're trying to stay 6 feet away? No, you are not gonna meet them at the club on the dance floor right now because you can't go to the club and be on the dance floor. So that's not happening either. And then there's certain people who are just not even comfortable going out at all. I know that a lot of single people get on sports leagues, like kickball leagues, softball leagues. Well, he or she ain't there because they are not even going to a softball practice. It's not going to happen. So where is it going to happen? It's going to happen online for a lot of you. And I know a lot of people have their own hang-ups about online dating, but there are many people who don't, especially millennials, Gen Xers, or Gen Zers. Oh my goodness, Gen Z. Y'all are dating online very comfortably. And I know that there are some who are Gen Xers, maybe even baby boomers who want to be dating, and they're not as comfortable with online dating. They're like, I don't want to meet them online. I just want to do something organic, like meet them in the store, meet them from a mutual friend. Okay, honey, we don't have time for that. So let's get to it. So the first thing that I would suggest for anyone who wants to date during the pandemic, and that should be all of you if you're single, I would first suggest that you find the right platform for you. There are so many options, and you need to know what you're looking for so that you can be on the right platform. Bumble is really different. Bumble is one where the ladies make the first move. If you know that you're not the kind of lady who likes to make the first move, well, hell, that's not the site for you. Even Facebook. Hey, Facebook. Facebook offers a dating app now. And that allows you to start with meeting people that you were either connected to already or that you're really closely connected to. Like this person shares 2 friends with you and they're on the Facebook app too. You can also meet people on free sites like Tinder. What else is a free one? POF, Plenty of Fish. But I will warn against free sites. I typically don't tell my clients to get on free sites because just anybody can get on a free site. And these are not necessarily people who are seriously invested in finding long-term commitment and relationships. A lot of times, sites like Plenty of Fish, and y'all, if this is true for you, please drop that in the comments. Plenty of Fish, Tinder can be like hookup sites because they're free. But then there are sites that are for people who are ready to invest in finding a partner. eHarmony is a site I um, suggest to people all the time. It's a little costly. It is a little costly, but it is filled with people who are seriously invested in dating and finding a partner. So that's one of the really, really great things about eHarmony. Match is also another paid site. They have Christian Mingle. If one of your first 1, 2, 3s is he has to be a Christian or she needs to be a Christian, well, that one's already sorted out when you get on the website. Well, hopefully you still have to do a little digging on your own, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But these are the sites that are available, and I would love if you are single on the chat, if you've been on any of these sites, let us know what your experience has been. Like, what would you suggest? Because I know somebody is looking to find that right site. What was your experience with Tinder? What was your experience with eHarmony? Oh, also, and I tell everybody this about eHarmony. If you're interested in getting on eHarmony, which is the number one site that I suggest as a coach, I would suggest that you first log in, start your account, don't pay for it, wait a couple weeks, and then they're going to start sending you a discount. Like, oh, we noticed you signed up and you haven't paid yet. It's going to get cheaper. And then wait like 3 more weeks after that. And then it's going to get a little bit cheaper. So that is a great way to get started at a more affordable rate. So keep that in mind. So if you're ready, you finally shook off all those fears, all that ego that said, I'm not going to meet my partner online. We're going to lock eyes and it's just going to come together. If you get rid of that fantasy, because that's your fantasy notion on how you're going to meet your partner, and you're ready to get online, I'll tell you how to make an awesome profile. But before we get to the awesome profile, another reason I suggest online dating is because there's this idea that there are plenty of fish in the sea. There's actually an online dating site called Plenty of Fish. But yes, plenty of fish in the sea. And there are. And one of the great things about dating online is you can expand your network so quickly. Actually, the site does it for you. Not only are you coming in contact with those 5 single guys at your job, or those 10 single men at your church, or those 20 single ladies who show up at the speed dating event. You are daily in contact with hundreds of single eligible people. You can sort through so many people so much more quickly because there's so many options available. And one of the great things about finding partners is increasing your options. Many people are afraid in relationships. They meet somebody and they're like, this kind of works, but it doesn't really work, and I'm going to try to make this fit. It's because you don't know how many options are available to you, honey. You don't have to make that fit. You really don't. When you are in a scarcity mindset, you are more likely to make a poor decision in a partner. When you don't think that there are a lot of good men out there, or you don't think there are enough good black men out there, or all these women are crazy, I need to find one good one. If you have scarcity thoughts, they're completely going to affect how you date, how long you stay, what you tolerate, all of those things. So I would encourage you to change your thought right now. There are plenty, there are so many, and the truth is, all you need is one. All you need is one. So let's talk about profiles that work. I have to say, I've online dated in the past, and as a woman doing online dating, I could only see men's profiles. But as a coach, I've been able to help women make profiles. I've been able to help some of my male clients make profiles. So I've been able to now see both sides of what that looks like. And I would definitely say on the men's side and on the women's side, there's a lot of people out there with some crappy profiles. Online dating is going to be just as effective as you are willing to put some energy into it, honey. You can't just throw your profile up, one little fuzzy, dingy picture where we can barely see your face, and expect people to want to come and date you. That is not how that's supposed to go. Getting a really great profile is going to take some time. It's going to take some investment. And getting your thoughts together about what it is you really want and what you really need. I would encourage that all of your profile pictures show your face in a really welcoming way. This is important for men and for women, to show yourself as open, as happy, like having your own joy, because you're really inviting someone in. And the first thing you're inviting them in with is your photo. Then when they click on your name and your photo and say, this person looks kind of good, that's where they're going to find out some more stuff about you. And how great do you make yourself sound? If you start and I've seen this, y'all, so many times. If you start your profile with, if you're broke, ugly, married, or gay, please skip my profile right now. You are bringing so much negativity into the dating pool from the beginning. That is not what you want. You definitely want to be positive, to be light. Like, making yourself sound like you're okay by yourself, and also that you're inviting someone in to be a part of your life. Hey, just finished hiking that mountain again. That's how I spend my Friday nights. Looking forward to hiking with you one day. When I'm not hiking, I'm cooking or hanging out with my friends. Make your life sound great. You also want to constantly be inviting people in the language that you use in your profile. Like, I love to dance. So if we're going to be together, get your dancing shoes. Like, hey, make sure you have your dancing shoes, because we're going to be the couple that's tearing up the dance floor, right? Help that person get an idea of what their life with you would be like. Let them get a vision for what they have to look forward to, so that they can see it too. So that's really important. Your dating profile is so important. And there's certain websites like Match, and eHarmony that cause you to invest in your profile. So you can't just get on the site and just go with it. You actually have to spend like 40 minutes doing your dating profile before they will even let you get any matches. And that is so important. So when you do your profile, be honest about what you really want and need. eHarmony, I know for sure, asks questions like, how important is financial security to you? If it's really important, tell the damn truth, please. Because they're not going to send you partners who they already know have said that's not important to them at all. You guys are going to be ill-matched. It's just not going to work. Also, be honest about the things that you just can't work with. Oh, and I love that about dating online. If you know you don't want to be a smoker, and they say, are you okay with being with a smoker? Just put no. You're not. You're not. Then they don't even send you matches of people who smoke. Or if they do, they'll put in a whole nother category that says, this person seems like a great match in every other way, but we noticed they have this one thing. Are you willing to make this adjustment for this great person? And if the answer is no, you just keep clicking. It's a great way to get started with the sorting process, because dating comes from the word data. Data is collecting information in a strategic way. And when you are dating, honey, you need to be collecting data. That means that you are first clear on you. You are first clear on what you are looking for, what it is you need, what your top 3 must-haves, your top 3 I can't deal, and then the rest kind of, this is stuff I can work with, and dating from that place. But yeah, with that being said, get clear on you, what it is you're looking for. Get clear on what it's not gonna work for you, and start sorting. Start sorting quickly. Read those profiles. Even if he's fine and he ain't put no energy into his profile, then that says that maybe he's not as serious as you think he is about finding that partner. If she in her profile is using words like hopes to have a family, and you know that family is really important to you, well, then that might be one you want to click on. It is okay to just move fast through that process. Also, once you've sorted, you've met a couple people, you've chatted, you've sent a couple messages, my next suggestion would be, don't get caught in the chat box. Whew. Y'all, I've had clients who come and sit on my couch and they're like, Dr. Pinkney, I've been talking to this guy, and I'm like, what, girl? I've been talking to him for a week. Okay, tell me what it's like. And she pulls out her phone and she shows me a whole chat box of messages, day and night, that they've been sending for a week. And I'll say, okay, well, it seems like you really like him. Why are you not talking on the phone? Why are you getting stuck in this chat box? You're entertaining him while he's at work. You're the person who's keeping him busy, so he doesn't have to be. Where is this going? So, yes, chat enough to see if this person uses proper grammar. Chat enough to see if this person responds quickly. That's another big thing, because if you get online dating, some people are so lazy. They make these profiles and they check them once a week. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. When people are sending you messages, they're putting themselves out there, so you need to be on the profile or on the account often enough that if they message you, they're gonna see you and get a message back. You need to keep the energy going. Anyway, so also along the way, you guys, if you have any questions, just drop them in the chat. I was gonna do questions at the end, but you can ask questions as I'm going along if there's anything you want more details on. So drop your questions in the chat. Drop your questions in the chat. So yes, make sure that you are responsive with your messaging, but I would definitely encourage all of you all to get off the phone. Get off the chat and get on the phone. Get off the chat, get on the phone. So dating in a pandemic, everyone is pretty much dating online. There are probably more people dating online than ever before. Literally all the fish are in the same sea. They're not at church. They're not in this space. They're not in that space. Y'all are all together in the same space online, which is great. It forces people who might never get online to finally get there. So date them. But now that you're all online, you have to make sure that the dating process is still progressing so that you're not just staying stuck where you are. So get off the chat, get on the phone. Hey, you sound like a really great person. I'd love for us to chat sometimes. If you're a lady and you don't want to give him your number, put it out there that you expect him to ask. I'd love for us to talk on the phone soon. See what he does with it. See if he asks for your number. Some people don't feel comfortable giving their numbers on online sites. If you want, create a number on Google. You can even do Facebook chats and all these other ways that you can call people. WhatsApp. You don't have to necessarily give people your number to have a conversation with them. But here is the most exciting part. This is what I love more than anything about technology in the 21st century. You can meet someone before meeting them in person. So when I was dating online, there's always this fear. Is this person who they say they are? Do they look like they look in the profile picture? What does their voice sound like? Am I being catfished? You can't answer any of those questions till you get this person in person. Get them in person as soon as possible. That means I encourage all of you to use Zoom, use FaceTime, use Skype, use Facebook chat video to see the person before you see them in person. Do not let yourself put a lot of time and energy into somebody that you don't know if you in any way be remotely attracted to. Attraction is a huge part of building connection, and it's very, very real. Many people spend way too much time laying on the phone at night, telling their childhood story, telling their favorite color, connecting with somebody that they don't, letting their heart start to open up with somebody they don't even know what they look like. You don't even know if you can kiss this person. Please stop. Within a week of constant communication, constant talking with someone, I would strongly suggest that you get them on that video. Hey, let's set up a FaceTime. I would love to see your face. This is going to be extremely important in a pandemic, because what if you do meet somebody and y'all really hit it off? Y'all are going to spend a lot of time on FaceTime. So go ahead and normalize that. Ladies, especially, but ladies and gentlemen, I would not suggest that you go any longer than a week spending a lot of time and emotional investment in somebody that you have never seen. Let me repeat that, because I want to make sure that landed. Do not. This is direct instruction. This is me telling you what I'm telling you what to do right now. This, in all my coaching training, they say don't tell people what to do. Let them come to their own conclusions. Well, forget that. I'm telling you what to do. Do not spend more than a week talking to anyone on the phone or chatting with them that you have not seen their faces. You need to check that out as soon as possible. See if that person is who they say they are. There are a lot of people who will hide behind online profiles and hide behind a whole bunch of stuff. Get that face to face. And then the last thing is, once you are meeting someone and connecting, keep dating. I think men do a great job of this. I would say women struggle with this one the most. You have to keep dating. Yes, he's great. Yes, you like him. Yes, you feel a real connection. But you could do all of that. And in 2 or 3 weeks, he could just stop calling. And you don't know why. So until you are in a relationship, you are single, and you are responsible to meeting as many people as you can so that you can make the best decision that you can. So keep sorting, keep dating, keep meeting new people as you all are going through the process, because honey, they're out there. And all you need is one. So with that, I'm going to take a breath. And I encourage all of you to ask any questions. Hey, Bianca, thanks for running that chat. It's so good to see you. Does anyone have any questions? We're talking about online dating with a coach. I don't see any in the question box yet, but if you're on Instagram, drop them in the question box. Tanita, I see you just left a comment. I gave the Facebook dating app a chance, and it was free. It was exhausting and disappointing. Deactivated that profile. Tell Anita. That happens to so many people all the time. Deactivating profiles. This just didn't work for me. And you're right. Sometimes it is completely the site itself, which is why I usually encourage people to be on more than one site at a time. So Facebook dating did not give you the results that you were looking for, but maybe another site will. So he wasn't on Facebook dating app, but maybe he's on eHarmony. Maybe he's on Match. Maybe he's on Black People Meet. There's so many other options. So I would really encourage you to resolve that wasn't the site for you, but not to give up on online dating. Keep going. So good to see you all out there. I see y'all joining me on Instagram and Facebook land. But if there are any more questions, please ask away. Oh, wow. There are a lot of questions, and I just needed to scroll. How personal should you be in your profile in the relationships? Oh, like whether you're divorced or widowed or have kids. I would definitely say be honest. Get as much up front as possible. One of the great things is that you can tell somebody who you are and what you come with without having to do the emotional work of seeing their reaction or their responses or anything like that. One thing that I think I've learned from the gay community, I think they do a phenomenal job of this. Dating online gay sites do a great job of this. This is who I am. Here's my status. I'm positive. I'm not positive. Here's what I'm looking for. I don't want to go more than 40 miles away from my house. If that's you, don't call. Clear, clear, clear. It's so cutthroat. It's a couple profiles I read. I was like, whoa. But he's clear. And you know that if you don't meet those requirements, if you're not okay with what this person comes with, don't even ding. Like, that's not for me. I encourage all of you, especially ladies, to do the same thing. I'm a mother of 3 children. I'm working. My children are very important to me. All of those things. Put that on your profile. If you're in school, put it on your profile. If you're divorced and you want to be married again, or if you're divorced and you don't want to be married, be honest about that. I've twice divorced. I'm not looking to be married again. I'm just looking for someone to spend time with on this next chapter of my life. Tell the truth from the beginning, because when you get to that first conversation, that person should have read all of that information and they clicked on you anyway. They sent you that message anyway. So it's easier for you not have to put some of that stuff out there. I remember when I was online dating, I was sometimes really surprised by how honest, especially some of the men are. Ladies, if you're looking for somebody who's super rich, who's going, take you to the other side of the world. I'm not him, but I am hardworking. I do own my house. I do pay my bills on time, and I will honor and respect you. If that's what you're looking for, then I'm your guy. Clear. Clear. Get clear. Ladies, don't be so afraid of not being picked that you are not honest about what it is you need or about who you are, so that you're shrinking and he's moving away because of that. So, how should women date multiple men effectively? I find it exhausting. Oh my goodness. A lot of women find dating multiple men exhausting, especially because lots of women don't do it correctly. Many women become way too emotionally invested way too quickly. I have found women who have been faithful to men that they've gone on 2 dates with. I don't know, girl. It's just something about this one. I'm going to go ahead and call everybody else and just tell them I met somebody. For what? He didn't ask you to be his lady. He ain't take you off the market. You have every right to keep dating. Keep getting to know people. That means you go out with this one on Friday night and you go out with this one on Saturday night. And when you are dating multiple people, it makes you manage your resource, because one of your resources is time and emotional energy. One of your resources is give a damn. So you can't stay on the phone all night caking it up with such and such because you got 3 other people texting you asking you how your day was, and one of them really wants to talk to you. So it helps you keep your conversation short. Yeah, just checking in. It's good to talk with you. I had a great day. How was yours? Great. Are you asking me on a date or not? Because I gotta go. I gotta go. I guess you have to tell them I got another call. But on the other side of that is somebody else who's trying to sniff behind you and see if they could get in that place and get that position. Ladies, 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 date more than one. If you're tired, if it's exhausting you, it's because you're giving way too much emotional energy to one, or way too much emotional energy too fast. That's what's exhausting you, the emotional energy. Get off the phone all night. Don't take phone calls all day. Don't let him text you all day at work. He don't have that honor in that position yet. He's not your man. But if he gets it, girl, go ahead. Do all of those things. But not for somebody that you're just getting to know. All right. I am glad to hear that someone is getting on a paid site and is going to start investing in their dating life. Yes! Put some money into it. It helps with the quality. Oh, it went away. I'm extremely introverted, but trying to become comfy and not freak out. Help. Oh, honey, that's great. That's a great thing to put on your profile. You can even say that I'm an introvert, but I'm deciding to try something new. Hi out there. There's going to be some guy who's like, whoo, I'm so glad they wrote that. I'm the same way. Being an introvert should not necessarily stop you from dating. I will say that I know that introverted people, when they have to expand a lot of energy emotionally and have to be around a lot of people, it can be really depleting. So for you and for everyone else, I would encourage you to definitely manage your resource. Make sure you have a lot of self-care practices around you, especially if dating is difficult for you. You know, send a couple responses to that profile and then get in your blanket and be like, oh, this was so hard. And then do it again the next day. Light your candle. Be gentle with yourself in the process, but get out there anyway. You do not want to let being introverted or finding dating hard to keep you from dating and keep you from meeting people. Because, honey, time ain't forever. And I'm not saying rush, but don't waste it. Especially for those of you who know that you want to be partnered. You owe it to yourself to put yourself in the position to find that partner and to invest in partnership and dating. It is something you have to be just as intentional about. Be just as intentional about finding your partner or positioning yourself to find a partner as you are about getting a degree or buying a house. It is okay to say, I'd like to be a wife. I'd like to be a husband. I'd like to be a partner, and that's important for me. Also, when you are dating correctly, you shouldn't be working late all the time. You don't have the resource, because there's an assumption about single people that we have the resource to be the person who can help with everything and keep everybody's kids and be available to everybody. If you are dating properly, you should not have time for that. So make dating your part-time job. Go to work full-time, take care of yourself full-time, date part-time, but make that something that you're intentional about doing. You owe it to yourself. Yes, y'all owe it to yourself. Let's see. I'm looking for more questions. I'm glad to hear that some of you all, even in this call, are opening up to the possibility of getting online and dating. I love that. I'm super excited for y'all. I haven't acknowledged, but I have 2 people who are supporting me on this call right now. I want to say thank you to Bianca. She's speaking to a lot of you all in the chat right now, and Kayla is right here waving at you, and I want to acknowledge both of them. Yeah, so I would love for some of you all, if you have experiences that you can share on the chat about certain sites that work, please do. I hear Christy saying that eHarmony was good for her. I always encourage my clients to use eHarmony. I think it is one of the better sites. It's really, really well regulated. And the quality of people who are investing, because it ain't cheap, investing in their dating lives is better. So you don't have that, you don't often have that perv who's just looking for somebody to send disgusting things to. Usually not on that site. So it's one that you're a lot safer on and you find more quality people. So I would encourage you to do that. There's another person who has mentioned the site Delightful.com. I didn't know Delightful.com, but I will put that name out there. And then I just saw a joke from my girlfriend Lisa talking about plenty of fish is called plenty of foolishness. I've never heard that, but that was funny. I'm not a fan of free sites. I'm not a big fan of Plenty of Fish. I'm not a big fan of Tinder. Although I do know people who have successfully found healthy, kind, loving, respectful, and responsible partners on these sites. So, I mean, it's definitely not all the way no, but I would say invest. Put some money into it, into a service that is scientifically proven to help you find the right partner. That's a huge one. All right, we've got a couple more questions in the chat. How do you suggest getting off the app? Should they be responsible for initiating that? Ooh, that's a good one. When to get off the app. So there's always, when you're dating someone and you're spending a lot of time with them and you're connecting and it seems really right, there's always this question like, are you still on eHarmony? Are you still on Match? Or is it just me and you now? You are not committed until you have a clear adult conversation that you all are going to be exclusive with each other. And when you are in an exclusive relationship, then why are you dating anymore? You don't need to. But I would encourage all of you to not get off the app until you have that conversation. When someone asks you very clearly, I want you to be my lady. It's just me and you. You need to hang that app up. Here's what I'm looking for. Here's what you're looking for. And here's what we're dating toward. That's a huge one. Why are you dating? Are you dating toward marriage? Are you dating toward long-term partnership? Are you dating to just meet new people? Be aware of that one, because they tell you. Oh, here's another really good one I noticed about men's sites. Men do a really good job of telling you what they're looking for. Whether they're looking for their wife, whether they're looking for somebody to kick it with, they're clear. Ladies, read that, trust that, and get what you're looking for. If he ain't looking for a wife, you're not going to make him be looking for one. He'll usually tell you, even in his profile. But anyway, get off the site when you're in the relationship that you want. If you are not in that committed, exclusive relationship yet, keep scrolling. Keep clicking or swiping or whatever y'all are on there doing. Keep doing it until you're off the market. Do not get off. Do you see? Oh, that's the same one. Yeah, and I will highlight that again, Tanita. Having the conversation, and especially in adult relationships, there's so many times that we make these faulty assumptions that well, now you and I are having sex, or now we're only supposed to be sleeping with each other, so I guess that means that we're together. No, it does not. You are not in an exclusive relationship until you and that person have had a clear, conscious conversation in which you agree to get in the contract with each other of exclusivity. And even when you agree, like I'm yours and you're mine, you still need to define that. So one of the things that I've had to learn is just because we're in an exclusive relationship, it doesn't mean that you have the same understanding of what it means to be a boyfriend, or I have the same understanding that you have of what it means to be a girlfriend. So we have to define those things as well. And that's I could do a whole live on that. Caleb, put that in a note. Do a whole live on defining a relationship. Because a lot of people are in the gray area, or it's complicated. And if it's complicated, it's only complicated because you have not made it clear. How do you gently deal with getting news that wasn't on their profile, like they have kids? That's a good one. So if there are, that's a great one. If there are websites where they ask you straight questions like, do you drink? Yes or no? Do you smoke? Yes or no? Do you have kids? Yes or no? You can bring that up, that you would have preferred to find out that information on their profile. There are certain people who don't feel comfortable sharing certain things on their profiles. And that's up to them. I've met people who are extremely vague about where they work. They might say something like, I work in retail, or I work in the construction industry, or I do this kind of work. And there are certain people who will tell you, I'm an executive for Belk. They even tell you where they work. I work in IT for Apple. Clear. But people have different levels of how clear they want to be. And that is why it's important that in early dating, you ask a lot of questions. So there's part that they are responsible for telling you on their own. And there's another part where you're responsible for asking the hard questions. So I've met so many people that find out things later and they're like, they should have told me. That's true. But it's also true that you should have asked. So when you do find out that someone has kids or something, they didn't share that on their profile, go through that profile again once you start talking with them or dating them. Hey, I noticed that you don't have kids. I don't have kids. Then see if they actually do. See what's really going on. So check in on everything that they said on that profile. You get to decide how transparent you want to be. Certain people put stuff on their profile that's like, first thing, I have herpes. If that's a problem, don't even click here. I'm a really great person. I love to hike. Some people are very comfortable with getting that stuff out of the way up front, because then, they don't have to worry about that later. But there are people who prefer to go out for a little while, be comfortable. They don't want to share certain things about that with everybody. And that's usually based on their own comfort level with who they are and what they're coming with. Because, honey, all of us are coming with something. Everybody is coming with something. So it's just when you feel comfortable sharing your stuff. Because, woo, don't we all have some? Yes. So is being exclusively dating and being in an actual relationship two different things, or do you see it as the same? Well, if you're exclusively dating somebody, you're taking yourself off the market to date anybody else. So I would expect that would be towards a relationship. I see those two things as the same. Why would I exclusively be dating you if we're not in a relationship? So, I mean, people have different processes, but how many steps do you need to take? How many steps are you willing to take? Are you ready to go from talking to dating exclusively to being in a relationship to being engaged? I don't know. That is for you to decide, but and this is not coaching. This is me, Adrianne Pinkney, personally. If I'm not dating anybody else, it's because I'm your woman. So those would be the same two things for me. that would just be me right there. Yes. So drop any more questions that you have in the chat. Y'all are making some great comments. I would encourage all of you who are on the call, especially on Facebook Live. This chat is live. Y'all need to scroll and read, because a lot of the ladies on this chat or giving each other some really great advice on websites, on things to stay away from, on things that they should consider in the process. But I did want to invite someone in for a second, because I do want us to have a minute. I recognize that the majority of this call, and I assume that this would be the case because this is the case with the majority of my clients. Generally, it's a lot of ladies on this call. So I wanted to bring a male guest in if you guys have any questions that you would like to ask a guy, one who's dated online before. So anyway, while you all are thinking about those questions, if you have any more for me, I would greatly appreciate that. Any more questions? Financial considerations are also open for discussion early. Yes. Hell yes. I done cussed 3 times on this call. I didn't mean to, but I will say absolutely yes. Talk about finances as early as you can. Maybe not first date, second date, how much money you make and all that kind of stuff. But you are really looking to see if somebody is the right partner for you. And you don't want to start investing or letting your heart get involved if you know that this ain't for you. You know, people put it out there all the time. Yeah, you know, I have a good job, but my student loan debt is to the sky. And they tell you, this is who I am. This is what I'm coming with. So you have a right, one, and a responsibility, two, to yourself to get as much information as possible. So I'm going to invite my sweetheart who has dated online before. We together now, so this was not available. But he can tell you a little bit about dating online from a male perspective. Oh, you got your Mason shirt on.
I do.
That's so cool. But I really want to allow the ladies here to ask any questions that you might have from a guy. But I have another question. Would you say that getting to know a man's demeanor happens best during those Zoom or Facebook calls? Body language is so important, and you can start to get indicators of those things even when you're on calls like Facebook. Colette, just say hi to you. On calls like Facebook or Zoom and all of those kind of things. So yes, looking at body language and demeanor is important. And then, oh, also, I forgot to say this, y'all. This is huge. I know that it's a pandemic, and I know that many of y'all aren't going out, but within Zooming and FaceTiming, if you're going to get serious with someone, do not get in an exclusive relationship with somebody that you never smelled. Yes, smell is a part of attraction. Scientifically proven. We are actually partnered with people that we like the way that they naturally stink. Like they naturally smell. That's so real. But do not let yourself get months into being emotionally involved, investing time and energy into somebody that you haven't smelled, gotten close to, seen in person, seen how tall they really are, what their body really looks like, how you feel when they hug you, all of those things.
Well, if I could also ask, sweetheart, it's also important when you actually are with that person that you actually feel their energy. Does that energy feel good to you? Do you feel safe with that energy around you? Is that something that you can invite in as a woman as well as a man? So those are things that you should also consider. So I know some of you, I was watching this earlier. So, from the spirit side, from the soul side, is that somebody that you feel and vibe with as soon as you can see them? So that's also very important.
So we have a question for you. This is only for you. And the lady said they're glad that there's a guy here because it's so good to have their perspective. She said, why do men ghost women? Why is it that they cannot just say I'm out? So why do they disappear? Why are they ghosting?
Well, that's a good question. I would say that most men are ghosting. It can be for several reasons. Number one, they have plenty of other women that they're already talking to, and they feel that you were not the one that they wanted, so they just went on and chose someone else. The other one is the gentleman can also be very shy, or may not know what to say, or may be intimidated. Those are other things that they may be going through.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's also very, and if you are ghosted by it, it's unfortunate that the gentleman did not express himself. So maybe that was not the right person for you to be connected with. Just look at it from that perspective. That probably did you a favor in the long run not to be connected with that person.
Mm-hmm. And I will say ladies ghost too. I know some of my girlfriends who are just like, oh, girl, this is not it. And I'm like, you're not going to tell them it's not it? And she's like, oh, no, I don't want to hurt his feelings. So I'm just going to ignore him instead of just telling him I'm not interested. She really genuinely believes that it is kinder for her to just disappear than for her to be so respectful to say, you are a wonderful person. You are just not my person. So ghosting is really an effective, it is an indicator of poor communication skills. And unfortunately, many men and many women are poor communicators. So ghosting is not about you. It is not about you.
I would say, I would agree with that. It's not about you, so don't take it personal.
No.
Just look at it as it's a favor done to yourself so you can just continue moving forward.
Yes. Yeah. It isn't kind to just disappear. Energy is a biggie. Yeah. So direct eye contact, shifty eyes. Y'all are mentioning all the things. And this is why it is important to get off the chat and then get off the phone and then get off the video and get to this person in person as soon as you possibly can in a way that you feel safe.
Well, I would say one of the things that helped us in understanding and seeing one another is that Adrianne and I had not seen each other in several years.
Oh my God, that's a funny story.
And so it is a funny story. But I would say one of the things that brought us closer together is that we actually did letter writing, which is a lost art. And during that letter writing, we found ourselves becoming more attractive and connected to one another. So one of the first things that Adrianne said is that, look, I haven't seen you in a few years. Of course, I was a much bigger man at that time, but she needed to see me, like, definitely, like she said, smell me, see me, and all that to ensure that, before she's emotionally invested, and me too, that I'm emotionally invested in her, that at least we can have that connection.
Right. We have an interesting story that we'll do on another Zoom call when we talk about what our story is. But this ain't Zoom. This is live.
This is live.
Lord Jesus. This was
That's the other platform we use.
Yes. Oh my God. Y'all are bringing it. I love this group. Somebody said when they're on Zoom and Skype, please pay attention to their background as well. Heck yes, pay attention to that background. I'm sorry, and ladies especially, y'all know how to look for the little details. If this dude is telling you he got money out the wazoo, but you look and he turned the camera up and you see them popcorn ceilings, you already know. You already know, girl, it's not what he says it is. It is so important. How they keep their house, their room, their background, all of that stuff matters. Hey, Marsha, it's so good to see you.
Well, not only that, when you're on the video chat, it's also important to notice how that gentleman has manicured his fingers. Look at the teeth, look at how they shaved. I mean, the small details, how they keep their hair. Those are, and you get asked that. Don't be afraid to ask, what are your grooming habits? Be honest with them. Ask that man that, do you shower? Do you bathe? What products do you use?
Stop.
I'm for real about that. So, ask those questions.
Marquise told me to stop. No, okay. Y'all, Louise, you let them know that they need to watch. Okay. So, y'all are really making a lot of comments about letter writing. Yes, that is a really important lost art, and that is a part of our dating story. Writing letters. And that could be something that's really romantic in this time of social distancing, especially if you are in a long distance relationship or you do start to connect with someone that you can't see as immediately because maybe they're a flight away or a really far car drive away. Letter writing is so intimate, it's so beautiful. And it's something that can be romantic even if you have a partner, because I'm not going to assume everybody on here isn't partnered. So there might be some of you who do have a partner who are looking for ways to be romantic.
And
reconnect. Yeah, letter writing is so sexy. It really, really is.
So one of the things that's different about letter writing, I would say, from doing a text or a chat is also an opportunity to hear the person's voice and to see how they write and to get, to know them differently from writing.
Okay, that's awesome. Louise, all these ladies are loving what you were saying about washing their behind and seeing they're like, this is the absolute truth. They're like, yeah, he telling the truth. Like, I'm like, oh my God. But you're right. You're right, Greg. You're right. All right. So any more questions that you all have about dating online or dating generally? It's so good to see y'all joining the call. We are here to support you. Okay. Yep. So we have someone who just shared a story about not seeing, meeting someone on an app, and then their first date, his car was trashed, and she saw that his car was dirty, so she knew that his house was probably also dirty.
Yes.
And what goes on externally is an indicator of what is going on internally.
Correct.
So if your car is a mess, if your affairs are not in order on the outside, there's also something not in order on the inside. So please pay attention to all of those outside things because they are huge indicators to what's going on inside. Also, profile pics. I mentioned that earlier, but I'll say it again. Making sure that your first picture shows that you are open, welcome, and happy, that you're okay, that you're ready to bring in that person. Also, I would challenge you, ladies especially, to make sure you are including honest whole body pictures. Men and women need to do this. Men and women need to do this. But I know that women are often struggling not with what a man thinks about you and your body, but what you think about you and your body. So you're not honest about that from the beginning. So it is so important that you show yourself in the most beautiful light and show that you are unashamed of who you are, that you love and accept who you are, and that you can expect to be selected and partnered based on who you actually are, not who you are pretending to be. How do men generally analyze a woman beyond her looks, her personality? So after he gets past the looks, what is he looking for?
He's definitely looking for someone with a kind heart. He's also looking for someone that is going to be able to be a friend. He's looking for someone to be partnered with. So he's also looking for someone that has financial stability, but also knows how to count the pennies correctly. And I also will be honest, also going to be on the maturity of the man, how old the man is, what's the lived experience the man has had. So those are things that you also have to analyze. So it's also good to ask those questions to the man. What is your lived experience? What has been your experience with women? Not just sexually, but also ask about, how have you handled finances? What does that look like? What did you learn from your mother? I think that's a really good question because that'll be an indicator to learn what's going to be happening with you and how he will be treating you.
Mm-hmm. And it's not so much how he treats his mother, but ladies, also pay attention to how his mother treated him.
Yes.
Because that is going to let you know how open his heart is to healthy love. Because many men are walking around with their first heartbreak being from their mama, and they think it's their 16-year-old girlfriend, and it wasn't her, and it might not be you. So be aware of that as well. But that's cool. So men really do pay attention to a woman's heart, you think?
I do.
Okay, tell me more about that.
I think they try to listen and connect to a woman's heart, so they'll be able to have a better understanding of how that woman needs to be treated. Also, what heartbreaks she has experienced in the past, and what not to fall into those heartbreaks, or what to, how can I say, not to step on that landmine is probably the best way to say it. How to be able to peruse the heart and ensure that they are being tender with a woman's heart. And also, I would say the same thing for a man. You have to learn the man's heart so you can be tender with that man's heart. I know we have a hard exterior, especially men of color, because we have walls that have been built up to protect ourselves. But at the same time, if you get to that man's heart, have the opportunity to learn what his heart has either been broken or what is taking for him to heal from what he's gone through.
That's cool. That's great. Yeah, I think that heart-to-heart connection is so important. And I would add then, that means, ladies, you are going to have to know what it is that you need. You are then responsible for knowing where you are wounded so that you can direct him so that he can be successful in loving you. So all of that is not up to him to figure out. You need to know who you are. when you come to that relationship, so that you can advocate for yourself to be loved the way that you need to be loved. He is not here to solve the puzzle of you.
Yeah, we can't guess or figure it out. How, how can I say? An example is, well, you should have known that. So, you should have known, or but if it wasn't communicated clearly to a man, then that's a miscommunication. So it's very important that you are clear in your wants and your desires and your understanding and your expectations of what you want from that man, and vice versa. The man should also be able to communicate his expectations and what he wants and his desires with you also in a clear adult manner, just as you were talking about earlier. It should be a very adult conversation.
Like, date like you grown. Date on purpose. Date intentionally. Do you know what you're looking for? Are you making that clear from the beginning? Do you know who you are? And do you know how sweet you are? Like, ooh, especially ladies. You don't just give away your honey. If you know that you're the sweetest thing, you can definitely tell them, I'm the sweetest thing and I will love you so good. And I'll be faithful to you and I'll do all those things. But this is what I'm going to need from you in order to get access to all of that.
But if I could add to that, sweetheart, it's also important for men to let a woman know that I need you to be faithful to me. I need you to be loyal to me and be very explicit in that, and direct with that. So I think it's very important to just, for a man also to acknowledge that. I think once, how can I say, it's not, it might sound chauvinistic, but claiming your woman, claim your woman just as a woman would claim her man and just let it be known.
So that was something that they were asking earlier before you came into the room about, when do you know that you should stop dating other people? When do you know that you take your profile down? That's when you have been claimed.
Yes.
If you have not been claimed, if he has not made it clear that you off the market, you my woman, then you are single. Okay. The relationship with the woman. All right. Well, y'all, we have like 4 more minutes. So if anyone has a question Lisa says she likes to be claimed. I like to be claimed too. And then one of the reasons I'm with this guy is because he made it clear. He was like, you gonna be my woman.
That's right.
Yeah, clear. I was like, whoo, okay. But are there any more questions? We would love to be able to support you all and encourage you in dating. Like, get online. Start trusting yourself enough to find the right partner for you. Make yourself available to love, to partnership, to having someone go along the journey with you. It's a really beautiful thing.
And I also say, just be open. I would say be open to a variety of men. Be open to a variety of backgrounds, a variety of experiences. Don't limit yourself. If you have any type of fear behind that, ask questions, because you never know what a man has truly been through. Be open to ask those questions. And I think you'll surprise yourself when asking it. Men like to be asked questions, so ask them. And we're here to support you along that journey, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Last thing, our last question just came in. She said, please offer any tips on not getting so emotionally attached so soon. There are so many tips that I could offer on that, but I'll make this one especially for the ladies. And not getting too emotionally invested, I would say think with your heart, but also think with your head. I have seen women fall in love with, become committed to men that they've never even talked to. We all have that 16-year-old girl who will have a crush and write his name and write our first name with his last name and put hearts around it, and he's never even said hi. And you can't see anybody else because you are so into that idea. I would say get past the idea of who someone is and get into the reality of who that person really is. I encourage all women to date with their heart, but also date with your head, honey. Mm-hmm. So that would definitely help you not get too emotionally involved too quickly. Here's another one, ladies. I would say this for all people: if you are in any way emotionally awake and healthy, your heart and your cookie are going to be connected. And if you are emotionally awake in any way, them two things come together. So you might not want to give your cookie away until you are also ready to be as emotionally invested. And I'm not saying that to judge anybody. I'm just saying these are things that will help you not find yourself getting too emotionally tied to someone that you don't have that commitment with yet. So I am so excited to have you all here. We will keep this live available, so it's going to be on Instagram. Share it with your friend who missed it, who you know needed to hear it. And also, just be back for the next live. We're going to try to continue to do this on a weekly basis. Follow Be Well on everything. We are so grateful for having y'all here. Thank you. Be well.
Be well.
Bye. Thanks.